want a bar chart for this data.
No.
I wanted a histogram, right? Okay, so we'll have to fix that. But the main thing here that I want you to take note of is that all of these categories were instantly inserted, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, and so on, along the bottom. And it took the data and it chose an appropriate axis labeling over here, or tick mark scheme, so that all of our data looks nice and distributed, right? So that makes that very easy. Now, what's not listed are the labels along the axis. And we always need to label our vertical and horizontal axis. So what I need to do is go over to this plus sign here and click Axis Titles. Okay? So for our axis titles on the bottom, then I can click in this box and change this to...
Can you do that plus sign again, please?
Yeah. So I'll do ages. All right, so the plus sign over here, axis titles. Select the check mark for axis titles. Okay? And you can come back in here and you can change up the labeling, ages of Ivy Tech students. Okay? I don't know why. Moving that over. Okay, and this axis title, I'll click into this box, change that labeling to frequency.
Oh, it took frequency and put it at the top.
Okay, right, so we'll have to change that as well. So this is a graph of, essentially frequency, or I should maybe put number of Ivy Tech students by age group. So I pick an appropriate title or label for my graph, okay? You might have to come up with one. Okay. So we have frequency. I could have called this number of students on the side instead of using the word frequency, but just make sure that I have a title. I have my labeling on horizontal and vertical axis. Okay. So any questions so far? Awesome. So now the last thing here is I need to make sure that all the bars touch. Okay. Now, what I would recommend, since this is a histogram, when all of the bars touch, I want some sort of outline for these bars. So before I do this next step, I may come up here to the top and look for a scheme that has the bars outlined.
I think that one that had the number in it.
This one? It doesn't look, that one looks kind of neat. All right, or something like that. But I like this style. It's nice and easy to read. Okay, and it has the bars outlined. But the main thing here is I like having the bars outlined because then when I come over here, actually, what I need to do is click on the data itself, I believe, and right click and go down to Format Data Series. All right. Format Data Series. So if you want to make the bars touch, you need to make sure that you select the data, right click, go to Format Data Series. And then what we're going to change is the gap width. The gap width is how much of a gap is in between each bar. And I want to change that, shrink it down to 0.
You said format data what?
Format Data Series.
It's on page 125 in your book.
Yes, so you click on one of the bars, right click on a bar, down page 125, go to Format Data Series, and drag the gap width down to 0.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
Step by step.
all right, so that's how we can make a bar chart into a histogram, because that's the only big difference. So that the bars touch or the bars don't, right? So change the gap width to 0, and then if I wanted to, I could go and change the border options. I can click on this paint bucket, change the border, to